We crave connection. Humans are social creatures by nature. Yet, even amidst the embrace of a committed partnership, a chilling reality can take hold. Loneliness. This isn't about being physically alone. It's about an emotional disconnect, a void in the deepest part of ourselves. The world sees a couple, perhaps holding hands, sharing a meal, or raising a family. But behind closed doors, a different story unfolds. A story of unspoken longing, of unmet needs, and a growing chasm between two people who once felt inseparable. You are surrounded by someone you love, yet you feel utterly alone. We will explore the causes, signs, and effects of loneliness within relationships, shedding light on this pervasive issue. Loneliness in a relationship doesn't happen overnight. It's often a gradual process, a slow erosion of connection. One of the primary culprits is emotional disconnection. Over time, life's demands, work, children, finances, can chip away at that emotional intimacy. You may find yourselves living parallel lives, sharing the same space, but not truly connecting on a deeper level. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship, and its absence can be deafening. When communication breaks down, loneliness often takes root. Surface-level conversations about chores, schedules, and obligations may dominate your interactions. This lack of open and honest communication creates an environment of emotional distance. The silence between you becomes a barrier, preventing you from truly seeing and hearing each other. It's natural for couples to have different interests and values. However, over time, these differences can become points of contention, leading to loneliness. As you grow and evolve as individuals, it's crucial to nurture your connection as a couple. If you find yourselves drifting apart, pursuing separate paths without making an effort to bridge the gap, loneliness can creep in. It's like watching two ships sailing further and further away from each other. Loneliness in a relationship can be a subtle beast, its presence felt long before it's ever acknowledged. You might find yourself yearning for your partner's attention only to be met with indifference or distraction. Their words might say, "I'm here," but their actions scream, "You're invisible to me." This feeling of being unseen can be incredibly isolating, chipping away at your sense of self-worth. You might start to wonder, do they even notice me anymore? One of the most telling signs of loneliness in a relationship is the feeling that you've transitioned from lovers to roommates. You share a living space, perhaps even a bed, but the spark, the intimacy, the passion, it's all but vanished. The laughter, the inside jokes, the shared dreams, they've been replaced by a comfortable silence. You might find yourself longing for the days when you couldn't wait to share every detail of your day with your partner. Now, you barely make eye contact, let alone engage in meaningful conversation. Physical touch is a fundamental human need, essential for emotional well-being and connection. However, when loneliness takes hold, physical touch can become a casualty, leaving you feeling starved for affection. You might notice that you and your partner rarely hold hands anymore, that the spontaneous hugs and kisses have dwindled. This lack of physical touch can be incredibly painful, reinforcing the feeling that you're emotionally disconnected from your partner. You crave their touch, their warmth, their reassurance, but it's as if an invisible wall has been erected between you. Loneliness is not merely an emotion. It's a state of being that casts a long shadow over our lives. When it takes root in the supposed safe haven of a relationship, its effects can be particularly damaging. The weight of loneliness can manifest in various ways, often creeping into our emotional and mental well-being. Depression and anxiety can become constant companions, amplifying the feeling of isolation. Loneliness chips away at our resilience, making it challenging to cope with everyday stressors. When loneliness festers in a relationship, it can create cracks in the very foundation of your connection. Resentment, like a weed, can take root, fueled by unmet needs and unspoken grievances. This resentment can manifest as passive aggressiveness, criticism, or withdrawal, further driving a wedge between you. Trust, the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, can also erode under the weight of loneliness. When you don't feel seen or heard by your partner, it's natural to question their love and commitment. Perhaps the most insidious effect of loneliness in a relationship is the damage it inflicts on our sense of self. When we feel alone in the presence of someone who is supposed to love and cherish us, it's easy to internalize that loneliness. This can lead to a decline in self-esteem, a feeling of not being good enough, interesting enough, or lovable enough. So loneliness can make us feel like we're living in a labyrinth, lost and alone, with no clear path back to connection or to ourselves. Relationships are not static entities. They are constantly evolving, shaped by the ebb and flow of life's experiences. What begins as a passionate whirlwind of romance can, over time, settle into a comfortable rhythm of companionship. As couples navigate the shifting sands of time, their priorities, interests, and even their sense of selves can change. The time you once dedicated to nurturing your connection might now be consumed by deadlines, carpools, and household chores. While these are all essential aspects of life, they can create a distance between partners, leaving them feeling like ships passing in the night. Life is full of surprises, some joyous, some challenging, and many that fall somewhere in between. These unexpected detours can either strengthen a relationship or expose its vulnerabilities. One of the most significant life transitions that can impact a relationship is parenthood. The sleep deprivation, the constant demands, and the sheer magnitude of this new responsibility can create tension and a feeling of being overwhelmed. In the midst of these challenges, it's easy to feel alone, even when you're standing side by side with someone you love. Our past experiences, particularly those from childhood and previous relationships, shape our beliefs, behaviors, and patterns of relating to others. When we carry unresolved trauma, attachment wounds, or negative relationship blueprints into our current partnership, it can create a breeding ground for loneliness and disconnection. These past experiences can cast a long shadow, influencing how we perceive our partner, how we interpret their actions, and how we engage in the relationship. It's like carrying an invisible backpack filled with emotional baggage, weighing us down and preventing us from fully showing up in our relationships. Feeling lonely in a relationship can be a heart-wrenching experience, but it doesn't have to be the final chapter of your love story. The first and most crucial step is to acknowledge the loneliness you're feeling and to communicate it to your partner. This requires vulnerability and courage, but it's essential for creating a space for healing and reconnection. Approach the conversation with empathy and understanding, expressing your feelings without blame or accusation. Remember, you're on the same team, working together to bridge the gap that has grown between you. Once you've opened up the lines of communication, it's time to start rebuilding emotional intimacy. This requires a conscious effort and a willingness to invest time and energy into nurturing your connection. Think of your relationship like a garden. For it to thrive, it needs regular tending, watering, and nourishment. One of the most effective ways to nurture emotional intimacy is to engage in meaningful conversations. Make time for these conversations, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. The more you share your inner world with each other, the deeper your connection will become. Overcoming loneliness in a relationship is a journey, not a destination. Many couples struggle with loneliness at some point in their relationship, and seeking professional guidance can be invaluable. A therapist can provide a safe and supportive space for you to explore the underlying issues contributing to your loneliness. Therapy is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's a sign of strength and a commitment to investing in your relationship. Remember, you're not alone, and there is hope for healing and reconnection. Navigating the terrain of loneliness within a relationship can be a daunting journey. However, recognizing its presence marks the first step towards healing and rekindling the flame of connection. Remember, feeling lonely in a relationship doesn't signify the end. Instead, it's a call to action, an opportunity to rebuild and strengthen the very foundation of your partnership. Embrace open and honest communication, creating a safe space for vulnerability and understanding. Prioritize quality time together, nurturing emotional intimacy through shared experiences, meaningful conversations, and expressions of affection. Just as a garden requires constant care and attention, so too does a relationship. Cultivate patience, empathy, and forgiveness as you navigate the complexities of love and connection. And remember, seeking professional guidance is a sign of strength, offering invaluable support on your journey back to each other. Loneliness may cast a shadow, but with shared commitment and unwavering effort, you can rediscover the light and warmth of love's embrace.